Thank you for joining me today. It is the end of National Small Business Week, and I want to give you guys some tips. If you're a small business owner or if you know someone who owns a small business, please share this with them. I work with a ton of entrepreneurs, and entrepreneurs are my favorite people for a few reasons. They have vision, they want to make big impact, and they're dedicated. They're so committed to living out this dream. They are the ones who are willing to wake up early, make shit happen. They're bringing jobs to our community. They're bringing innovation. They're bringing connections. And it is just, I feel like it's such a privilege to get to work with this amazing group of people and watch them evolve as individuals and watch them really make impact in the community. So I have three major tips for you today. If you are thinking about starting a small business, or if you already own a small business, this will be really helpful for you. Even, I know I have so many friends now who are doing, who have side gigs, who are like selling products on the side. All of this, it will be relevant for you. So thank you so much for watching. And again, please share this with someone who you think would also benefit from it. Hi, Patty. Thank you for watching. Hi, everyone out there. Okay, so number one, know your numbers. If you are in business for yourself and you don't know what your numbers are, you're doing yourself a huge disservice. Your numbers should dictate a lot of things in your business. So the numbers, what are my numbers? What numbers should I know, right? The top ones to me are knowing your income and expenses. Now, you don't have to know these like by the hour. I do mine monthly. You could do them quarterly, but I wouldn't recommend being any further behind on your numbers than quarterly, because it should be impacting the decisions you make on marketing, in personal and business development, or building out, growing your business. So it's really important that you know the money that's coming in, money that's coming out. This is also one, how we make sure we're balanced, right? But this is also probably how you pay yourself, by knowing how much money you have coming in and coming out. So that's super important. I worked with someone the other day, and he didn't even know how much he should be paying himself because he was so far behind on his numbers, which is wild. Like, you shouldn't be living like that. You shouldn't be working this hard to start your business, to run a business, and not be paying yourself. So for that reason alone, know your numbers so that you can pay yourself. A second number that's super important to me is customer acquisition. So how much money does it cost you to bring in a new customer to your business? Why is this number important? Well, you need to know if your marketing is working for you or not, number one, and you probably have a few different streams of marketing. So really understanding what's working for you, what's not working for you. Hi, Serena. Thank you for joining us as well. So customer acquisition, you need to also understand, like, of the revenue you're bringing in, how much it's costing you on the average spend per customer to bring them through the door. And the goal would be, as your business grows, as your reputation grows, that your customer acquisition price would come down. So if you don't measure it, you don't know what direction it's going. And other numbers that you should know is have a budget in place, and then also have projections set up. So if you have your income and expenses and all that figured out from, let's say, a previous year, you'd be able to make a budget for your business going forward. So I do this at the beginning of the year based off of my previous year's numbers. And I was met with some development opportunities at the beginning of the year. And because I had done a budget, I knew what my budget was for courses, for masterminds, for all the things that for coaching I like to pay for, to keep me at the top of my game and help me keep growing my business. But if I hadn't done my budget, I wouldn't known if it was okay or how much money I should be spending. And if you don't if you don't know how much money you should be spending on marketing, on your own personal development, on let's say like your building, or if you have products, like knowing how much you should be spending there, packaging, all of that, it can get very complicated. And if you are just guessing, that's not going to work. It's not going to leave you where you want to be. Your ratio for expenses to income is going to be off, and you're not going to be able to measure what's really effective. And you're definitely not going to be able to strategically cut costs if that's something that you need to do. So income and expenses, customer acquisition, and knowing your budget so that you can make choices strategically throughout the year, but also be able to project for the year ahead what you should be making. Okay. You need to know who your ideal customer is. And this one trips people up all the time. Like, well, my ideal customer, hi Mohammed, thanks for joining us. Hi Andy. My ideal customer is anyone who will pay me X for my product or service. That's not the answer. Your ideal customer is the person who, maybe if you're already in business for yourself, think about who your favorite customer is. This is the person you never have to chase for money. They're super loyal. They're probably a brand ambassador for you, which means they're like out in the community telling their friends about you, how awesome you are, and they make it super easy. If you're not in business yet for yourself, sometimes you are your own ideal customer. A lot of people start their businesses off that way. But I know for me, I'm not my own ideal customer. I tend to work with people who are a little bit older than me. I work with a lot of men, and this just tends to be like the right fit. These are the people that I do the best work with. I get a ton of energy back from. And I know, like I said at the beginning of this video, my ideal clients are entrepreneurs or people who are leaders in their organization, because I love doing that kind of performance work where there's a lot of personal elements that come in, but they also have the ability to make a huge impact. So this work is so much fun for me. Hi, Holly. Thanks for joining us. You like my dark hair? Thank you. So when you think about who your ideal customer is, I want you to think about the easiest questions, which are demographic, or what's their gender, what's their age, maybe socioeconomic status, are they single, are they married, do they have kids, what's their employment situation like, where do they live. Those are the demographic questions. Now the harder questions are the psychographic questions, and that informs their buying decisions. So why does this customer buy your product? What goes into their decision-making process, and what would you say to that person to help influence their buying decision? So the whole point in knowing who your ideal customer is, well, ideally so you can go find them. But if you can't necessarily go find them and you're like in the store and you're like, hey, that's you, like, come over here, be my customer. You need to speak to them through your marketing or whatever you use to help draw them in. So right now I'm doing this video and I'm trying to give tips and advice on small business, right? But that's because entrepreneurs are my target market. They're my ideal customer. So I wouldn't be talking about Barbie dolls because I'm not trying to attract 5-year-old girls. So you got to use that mentality, whatever you're putting out in regards to your business, whether it's an Instagram post, a Facebook Live, an email to people on your mailing list. You've got to think about who this ideal customer is and target all your marketing, all your words, your pictures, everything to that person. So I highly recommend just spending some time thinking about who that is, and don't be afraid of leaving people out. That's a huge fear a lot of people have. It's okay. The periphery people will still come, but you have to be focused on driving in that ideal client. And lastly, something that is so important for small businesses to think about is, what are your company values? A lot of people put this in through their mission or their vision for their organization, but you've got to think about what is your company? What does it stand for? So I know for me, a big value for me is practicing business ethically and with integrity. So I make it a point that if I come across someone who is not in business with integrity, who doesn't pay their vendors, who doesn't treat their employees well, things like that, I won't work with that person because I can't support that kind of behavior. I don't want to be associated with it. It's not what I believe in. But you've got to know what you believe in first before you can have a company that exudes and expresses certain values. Another value that I have in my business is about impact. So I want to work with people who are interested in making a bigger impact in their community. And usually people who think that way are making a positive impact. So that'd be part of it. I'm interested in working with people who make a positive impact in their community. So think about, what are your values? I know my personal values come through in this too, because I'm a service-based business, so people working with me, so I can't separate my personal values really from the work that I do. But a big value of mine is family. And so most of the time I find myself working with people who have families and are very invested in their families. And that is something, of course, I want to support. I want to help those people become more effective in their business so that they can spend more time with their family and the people that they love. And then when they're great at what they do and they're getting the benefits back, then they're happier and they bring more positive energy back to that family too. So those are just a few key things that as a small business owner, I hope that you have in mind. I hope you're practicing, and I'd be happy to help you with it if any of that is confusing or you need a little more information. So just to recap, know your numbers. Know your income and expenses, your customer acquisition cost, have a budget, have a projection, okay? And know your ideal client. Who are you trying to pull into your business? And why would they buy from you? And think about that as you're creating any kind of marketing. And lastly, know your values. What does your company stand for? What's your mission? What's your vision? And how does that show through? How are you guys living that in your business? Thank you so much for watching today. It has been so fun to connect with all of you. I love all the comments that you guys have on the side here. Let me know if any of this if you live this already in your business, or if something was new that I mentioned that you want to try out. I'd love to hear how it goes for you, and I'm happy to add any other tips that I can that's relative to what I shared. Thanks, Frank. Thanks for joining. Okay, so thanks again, guys. Have a wonderful weekend, and hopefully you can enjoy some of this good weather if you're up here in Rhode Island. Thanks so much. Bye.